we have some voicemails to play through here. If you go to anchor.fm/the podcast, you can leave us a nice voicemail. Try to keep them a little short. Try to keep them, we appreciate the praise, but you don't have to praise us and say how much you enjoy it. You just you say, hey, my name is Ian. I'm going to ask a question. Here it is. And you go. You get in and out and you go, all right, I asked a question, Pat and Ian, they're going to love it and they're fine. So this first one is from, man, am I ever going to be prepared with these? The first one is going to be from Josh here. And I have like 7 screens open, so I'm never good here.
Hey guys, this is Josh from outside of Philadelphia. I love the podcast, and I was wondering if I could get your opinion on something that I saw at my local retro game store about last week, mainly Ian's opinion.
Oh.
I was in about last week, and they had a Repro GoldenEye N64 cart that they were selling. I was just wondering how you guys felt about that.
All right, I'm cutting you off there, Josh. That's good.
I don't like it. We don't sell repros. We won't sell repros. We've never sold repros. When it comes to, and we don't sell these either. When it comes to ROM hacks and things like that, depending on how much has been done, I don't know that I don't necessarily like that either.
It's still not legal.
Yeah, it's not legal. But just selling a straight up repro of a game, I don't like either. 1, if you're a collector, authenticity. 2, I just don't like selling bootleg items. I just don't like selling illegal bootleg items.
You get busted technically.
Yeah,
you can.
A lot of people, I'm not a fan of it. So I really don't like it when I see places selling repros. It also kind of erodes my trust a little bit if it's not clearly labeled, because it's like, okay, what else is a repro that you might be trying to pass off as a legitimate, genuine article? Luckily, in the case of N64 repros, you can tell that they're repros from a fucking mile away.
Okay,
I mean, at least I can. You usually can. I think people who handle N64 cartridges enough will be able to pick one up and be like, this, just by feel, this doesn't even feel right.
Sure.
Gentlemen, greetings to you both. Ian, Lord of Luna, Duke of DuckTales, Raja of Ranch Dressing, the Wally Bear Warrior, and Matt Contra. Gentlemen, if you could be any kind of sandwich, what sandwich would you be? Okay.
That was from Aurelius the Revelator, so he likes these terms, and I almost cut him off for I don't know, going overboard there. But what sandwich would you be, Ian?
A BLT.
BLT?
Simple, delicious.
Toasted bread?
Toasted bread.
Toasted bread, okay.
Wheat bread, preferably. Mayo. Thinly sliced tomato. 4 slices crispy bacon. Leaf lettuce. Plenty of cracked pepper.
I would have to just go for the traditional Italian sub.
Oh, there you go.
Salami, put some ham, maybe some Swiss on there. Lettuce, tomato, oil and vinegar, some spices. Because it's like my mind. It's all sloppy mess, but it comes together and it's a beautiful thing in the end. If it all comes together there.
A good Italian sub is a sloppy mess, but you tuck in and you get that down, and it's so delicious.
That lettuce that's like this cut so thin, the string lettuce almost. That's what makes
Vonnie loves that shit. Like, her favorite place to get a sub in San Diego is Milo's, because they have like this lettuce that is just so crisp and crunchy, but it's like angel hair. It's insane.
Can we get a Blimpie out here? Blimpie's so good. We don't have Blimpie out here, do we?
I haven't had Blimpie.
Or a Dagwoods. I remember Blimpie being so much better than Subway. All right, what's next here? Next one's from Ben.
Hey, Ian and Pat. It's Ben Hyde here in Kansas City. Love the show. Been watching since I found you, I think that's through AVGN years ago. My question has to relate to what are you doing to keep yourself sane during the holidays?
How do you keep yourself sane during the holidays?
I mean, you want the real secret to how I've kept myself sane this holiday season? I smoked a couple cigarettes a week. that's what I did.
Ian fell off the wagon.
I go outside after work.
That's to deal with the stress at work, or just the stress in general?
Generally, it's stress at work, and in general. And I do mean it. I've had probably like 5 this month at night. But no, I mean, I cracked down old habits. Also, I've been listening to during the holiday season. I listen to a lot of ambient music. When I don't want to hear holiday music, or I don't want to hear yet another dance mix, if I'm working alone at work, I'll throw on some Brian Eno or something like that. Something that I don't have to pay attention to, but still sounds nice, and it just kind of massages my brain.
You don't want to hear the Mariah Carey song they play 1,000 times.
I actually like that song, but I need to hear it precisely once every year.
I think I avoided it this year somehow. I saw a tweet about it, like, it's time after Thanksgiving. I'm like, no, I avoided it.
I won Whamageddon this year. I made it all the way.
The awful Wham song?
I like that Wham song, too. I made it all the way to Christmas without hearing it, so I won Whamageddon.
Someone sent it to me. I didn't listen. I like the traditional Christian Christmas songs, to be honest. Like, I love like stuff like First Noel and Hark, Hark the
Herald Angels is a good one.
I love them all. Like, they're just beautiful traditional songs. Whether or not you're a Christian, I love those songs. They like Silent Night's a beautiful song to me. My grandfather used to sing it. I remember singing it.
I think Hark the Herald Angels is the one that I always used to fucking belt out with full force, even though I couldn't sing.
First Noel, I'd belt that as a kid.
Yeah.
I would, absolutely. Pretend I was like Freddie Mercury.
You know what I don't like? Little Drummer Boy. That's the Little Drummer Boy.
That's not a Christian song. That's a weird thing.
Pum it right up your ass.
They try to make that a Christian song. They ain't playing that in churches, because that's like, well, you got some weird drummer boy who's stalking baby Jesus and the wise men. Well, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing here?
Pump
I don't want to hear this shit.
I don't want it. I cracked myself.
I guess get some melody on this. It's ridiculous.
It's sad.
Get the hell out of here. Trust me, that
sucks.
That creeped me out when I was a kid. My dad had it on a record. I never liked Little Drummer Boy. That's one I don't like.
No,
it's creepy. It's weird.
It's auditorily gross. I just don't like the way it sounds. Fuck it. Fuck that song.
Then you have like the background it's like, God, the harmony is terrible.
It's it's so fucking maudlin and full of like just
it's
really trying to wring all the emotion out of it.
Okay. If I'm married, thanks, wise, when you gave me some gold, some myrrh, some frankincense. Kid, what do you want? Okay, you gonna play your song now? Well, I just went into labor. Okay, great. Okay, can you stop? This song's also like 7 minutes long. It's not a short song either.
I'll motherfucking kick a Little Drummer Boy. I don't care.
We're gonna move on from this. I hate that song.
Hey, Pat and Ian, this is Matt here.
Hi, Matt.
And I was wondering, with some VR talk that you had last week, if you'd ever tried 3D Sen VR. It lets you play NES games in virtual reality.
We talked about that once. Never tried in VR. We did mention that about a year or two ago in the podcast, that 3D NES thing. It's a conversion emulator.
Right, but I did not know you could do it in VR, which is what he's saying. That is actually kind of interesting. Never done it.
Hey guys, I love your show. Just want to start off by saying, Pat, you are the man, my man. But my question is for Ian. I was wondering if it would be possible you could maybe give a little backstory as to some of the stickers that are on the front of your laptop.
Okay, and real quick, what do you got there?
Let's see.
There's like 12 of them. Holy shit, there's 15 of them.
I've got a lot. So real quickly, X-Men because I love the X-Men. Extra napkins because it's my food podcast. PGS is Portage Garage Sounds. It's a techno label run out of Detroit. Ghostly is a music label. Voez is a really good rhythm game. Diglets are great. And Isabel looking sassy with a glass of wine because why not? Also, go see the Cabazon Dinosaurs. They're great.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks. Next question is like, it's a collector question I have marked here. Uh-oh.
Pat, Ian, it's your buddy Daniel again.
But Daniel was one that was doxed himself, I believe, the first time we did this. He wants to buy my games.
Daniel is coming to us live from the inside of a lawnmower.
Or he's on a motorcycle running down the highway.
This time I was wondering, why is it that most YouTubers who deal in the retro gaming community don't ever disclose how much they spend on games? I'm actually curious about it because I know you guys put a lot of hard work and money into collecting these games. And, sometimes we want to know how much you spent, Show it off. Show us how big your dick is, Pat.
Well, okay, Daniel. Okay. Well, some people don't like to do that. Because to some people, they get slighted when they feel, where'd he get this? That's when they always got, how did Pat afford all these games? I've seen that so many times. It didn't matter that I bought all the games, a lot of them before they were worth anything. Like, I picked them up when they were pennies on the dollar, or before games really blew up. Because I've been collecting since the late 90s. So It's not wanting to show your e-peen. You don't want to. It's not, even though I always get accused of that. Why do you bring up your NWC cards every week? I've seen that all the time. It's like I rarely bring up that I own some of this stuff, but it comes up in conversation because it's a fucking podcast I do. I have to mention some of this stuff, but it's also none of anyone's business what I spend on some of this stuff. It's not. I was annoyed that because they keep replaying it that on Pawn Stars they showed how much I paid for the NWC gold card. I was annoyed that they end up showing that on the episode. They show that part of the bill of sale because then people know how much I spent. It's none of your fucking business how much I spent on things. It really isn't. If I reveal it, then fine, but it's none of your business, and that always annoyed me. Other than that, I also don't want to. It also doesn't want to. If someone's in a spot where they can't afford some of this stuff, I don't want to come off like I'm high and mighty because I can. So there's a lot of reasons. There's let's put it this way. There's very, very few reasons to divulge how much you spend on these games. There's almost no positive benefit of doing that. None. Versus just keeping it to yourself.
I hate money. I hate talking about money. It's a necessity. It's not something that's a topic of conversation to me. I am more than willing to. I mean, if people have a question about a price I paid for a game, chances are, I'll tell you. But it's just not an interesting topic.
It's never relevant. It's almost never relevant how much you paid for it.
That's exactly it to me. The amount of money people have and the amount of money I spend on games or how much the games are worth is only interesting to me in so much as a barrier to me acquiring a game that I want. Once I have that game, it just goes on the shelf like any other game, and I don't really tend to think of it as an expensive game.
Yeah, we're also not an investment podcast, so it's like the only time we bring up a lot of the price of games when we think they're either really overvalued or the wad of craziness. When we look at what the games are actually going for, but still we try to keep out what we actually paid on this stuff unless it's something ridiculous where I say, oh yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out in the box, I paid $60 for it because these idiots are spending $1,500 on what I spent $60. Then I'll bring up the price, but I'm never going to bring up, well, I spent $10,000 on this game just to show that I had the money to spend. To me, that's not smart. It doesn't. There's no inherent value of doing that. That's just how it is. Next is having a new favorite of ours on here.
Yeah, g'day guys, it's Daco here. Just want to do a quick follow-up. Bloody couldn't believe I made the broadcast. Bloody I was on site, almost bloody copped a tear and shed a few, mate. Anyway, just want to say the Master System is a bloody pearler of a system, mate. Don't let what anyone tell you. Bloody took me 9 years to finish Alex Kidd in Miracle World, mate. Bloody, my wife almost left me to Miracle.
You know what, Daco? I'm going to stop it. I don't think you're Australian now.
I don't think so.
You slipped up, Daco.
You slipped. I heard you laugh.
You slipped it up there, buddy. I thought I was 50-50 in the first one. I was like 50-50, but I was like, oh no, but he likes Psycho Fox.
Yeah.
I don't think you're really Australian, Daco. If you are, I apologize. I don't think you're Australian. I'm going on.
Anyway, boys, bloody keep up the...
No, you're not.
Too much
boys.
blood.
No, you let it slip.
Too much bloody.
Too much blood. You let it slip, buddy.
Good work and arrivederci. Ciao.
That was bad. Oh, you had me for the first one, Daco. You're not Australian, Daco, but still, good job.
It's like criminals returning to the scene of the crime. It's what always gets them caught.
Yes, don't return to the scene of the crime. You quit while you're ahead there, Daco. All right, start listening at 12 seconds in for this one. All right, glad I put that in so I kind of know.
Of the week.
Okay.
I heard someone on episode 240 sort of share their history with the podcast, and I want to say I've been listening since I was 12 years old, and you guys really got me to be interested in retro games.
Oh, wow.
And I've loved them ever since. And my question to you, it's a very important
So what are you,
question.
19?
What are your top 3 favorite Sega Master System sports games?
Jesus Christ, bit by bit. God, top 3 Sega Master System sports games. I don't know if I played 3 Sega Master System sports games.
Yeah, I
Does Rocky count? Because that's not a good game, but I played it. I have not played Walter Payton football. I have not played Joe Montana. I have not played the wrestling game. I don't think I played the hockey game. I don't think I played the baseball game. I don't think I played the football game. I think I played the basketball game. I don't think I played any of them.
Super Puck Shot, Exciting Stickball, and Downtown Dunkers are my 3 favorite sports games.
Dunkers? Well, there is a street basketball game.
In Europe only.
Is there a stickball game?
I don't know.
Ever. Anyway, so that's funny. You said he was 12, so he's only 19 now. Wow. Well, I guess you like the same Master System. All right, we're gonna skip that one, and here we go. Last one for this timeout.
Yo, Pat and Ian, what's up? Nick from New Jersey here.
Jersey.
I just wanted to say real quick, I think you guys underrate the Super Nintendo a little bit, especially if you get into import stuff. I mean, with a Retron or something like that, there's a lot of these games that are just getting translated now, like the Goemon platformers like Mystical Ninja. There's actually like 4 of those. There's all the Puyo Puyo.
Well, let me stop you right now. You already kind of defeated your own argument, Nick, because those are games that never came out on the Super Nintendo, so you can't reference them in the frame of, well, now they're getting translated over. We didn't have those on the console. So, first of all, I don't think we underrate the console here at all.
Okay, I think this is an instance of someone looking at us as a unit as opposed to 2 different people.
Oh, we're a unit, all right.
I do not care for the Super Nintendo. I do not think that the Super Nintendo is a bad system. The Super Nintendo is not for me, he
doesn't prefer it.
As I've explained many, many times on here. My issue with the Super Nintendo is that the majority of the games that I would have liked on the Super Nintendo and would have had fond memories of, I did not play as a teenager, and I do not have the time to play now. It is a heavily RPG skewed system, and when you talk to a lot of people about why they like the system, the RPGs are what come up. And I had a Genesis growing up. As I've gotten older, my preference for story-based RPG games has faded, and I have definitely become more into arcade-type games, quick pick-up-and-play experiences like we talked about earlier, and I think the Genesis does it better.
Plus, Genesis had better shooters. They had a wider variety of shooters.
A wider variety of shooters, at least that was released here. I think Pat is perfectly fine on the Super Nintendo. I've never heard Pat say a bad word about the Super Nintendo.
No, it was a perfect progression of the NES. They just took it to the 16-bit level, re-released a lot of the same games, had new franchises show up, and perfected some franchises. To some people, Link to the Past is like their all-time favorite Zelda game. To a lot of people, they had like freaking 4 Kirby games come out, 5 Kirby games, whatever, on the console. Tons of RPGs, like Ian said.
Superstar 3 and Avalanche.
Huh? And Dream Course.
And Star Stacker was Game Boy. Or was that on the... Yeah, okay, 5.
There's a lot of Kirby games. I didn't get the exact number right. I just did the book, but I didn't write all the reviews. Anyway, and there was a lot of sports games on the system. And while people say the Genesis ones were a little bit better, they were mostly the same. I mean, NHL 93 to me was fine. I actually looked at a comparison video. The Genesis version had a better frame rate. It's still the same game on there. But yes, the sports games are a little superior on the Genesis. But but you had the great fighting games on the Super Nintendo that were probably the best out of all the consoles at the time.
Didn't need to go buy another controller.
You didn't buy a fucking separate controller because the controllers. It was the best controller of the 16-bit era. I think we can agree on that. That's not a controversy.
I like the Sega 6-button controller.
Okay.
But the stock Super Nintendo controller was absolutely better than the stock Genesis controller.
The D-pad was superior to Genesis. The D-pad Super is the superior D-pad. Nintendo still is the GOAT when it comes to the D-pad. They had that figured out, and it was the best one. So yeah, I don't think I underrated. I think I rated fine. I owned it. I mean, like, sorry. Is there anything else?
Like I said, I think that's just an instance of I am never I'm never the biggest champion of the Super Nintendo, and it's not because I actually think it's a bad system, but it's not for me. It does not excite me, and I think that's probably rubbed off on you.
You rubbed it off on me? Okay.
Games, stuff like that, Super Sokoban, a lot of these like weird games that have level editors and stuff that's kind of ahead of its time. I just think it's a really good scene, and I was wondering if you guys have kind of like delved into any of that. Super Bomberman, there's like 5 of them plus 2.
Yeah, again, when I say Super Nintendo, I tend to focus on like the book, like we're focused on what we grew up with, North America and Europe, and that's Super Nintendo. It's technically that's what Super Nintendo is, but yes, Super Famicom had a lot more games that had more interesting things. They had like Clock Tower. They had a lot of weird titles that came out, like the Back to the Future game that didn't come out here and things like that.
Oh yeah, that Back to the Future game always looks pretty cool.
What was it? What is it? The Super Batman Baseball or whatever game that they had on the Super Famicom?
I don't think Super Baseball Batman came out on the.
What
Famicom,
the fuck? What's in my book? Jesus Christ.
Maybe it did. I just know that it's the arcade game. Ninja Baseball Batman.
There's a spotlight section in the damn book here. Oh, I turned right to the page. That's really weird. There's some weird ones. You had your Captain Tsubasa games that came out there.
Yep.
Chatty commentary, Parodius, Clock Tower. You had a ton of Dragon Quest games that came out there that surprisingly did not come out. That's kind of a shock that they didn't localize those. That is kind of a shock that they didn't bother to do that here. Looking back,
which ones?
Any Dragon War? There's no Dragon Wars. Yeah. After they came out with 4, they said, you know what? Maybe because the sales were slipping by 3 and 4. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I mean, people forget there was a long time where many RPGs were just totally passed over for the U.S. market.
And of course, you had all the 1,000 Fire Emblem games that came out. I put 3 in the book here. There was a Godzilla game, You had some more beat 'em ups we didn't have. You had Mario and Wario. A puzzle game didn't come out here. You had Mario Super Picross didn't come out here. There was some stuff. There was the Devil's Crush sequel, Jackie Crush. It didn't come out here. So there you go, Ian. So yeah, maybe we can check out some of these at some point. Snoopy concert, action game, Ian.
Yep, I almost bought that from Carlson one.
There was a Popeye action platformer that I would have loved because I love Popeye. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff. And obviously, come on, you're really giving us not credit. Super Fire Pro, come on. We love these games. We just don't talk about them a lot because we didn't grow up with them here. Yeah, there was some good stuff on the system. I'm not just saying that because I put some in the book. Hell, if I could have done a whole Super Famicom edition, I would have, but just not feasible.